There's a ton of moves that the Chicago Bears can make ahead of the NFL trade deadline, and some that are being discussed are pretty exciting. Teams that are going into a rebuild have top tier players that they need to get rid of because they can't handle their cap anymore and want draft picks. Well, Ryan Poles has both of those to offer, and the Bears could be rumored to begin on Maxx Crosby, who seems like he wants to go to a winner, and the Bears are one piece away, in my personal opinion. It's going to cost a lot, but there are ways that the Bears can help the Raiders, and the Raiders can help the Bears in this trade scenario. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this exciting episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Rhodey, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Now, before I begin today's show, hit that like button if you want Maxx Crosby to join the Chicago Bears, along with commenting in the comment section your ideal trade for Maxx Crosby. And if you're a Bears fan and want to stay up to date on free Chicago Bears news and notifications, hit that subscribe button with the bell, or just hit the subscribe button. Let's hit 20,000 before Week 11 against the Green Bay Packers. So why Maxx Crosby? Well, he has said recently in reports in the locker room that he wants to be where teams are going to win, and whether that is Las Vegas or going elsewhere. And the Chicago Bears, well, they're on the up. 3 wins in the last 3 games, 9-game home winning streak, and they're looking pretty darn good behind Caleb Williams. So Maxx Crosby, the 6'5", 255-pound edge, could be a huge piece for the Chicago Bears. Only 27 years old, a former 4th-round pick in 2019, is a 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, and back-to-back seasons of finishing top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He has 2 years and $53 million left on that contract, which sounds like a lot of money, but worth every penny. Right now, he is ripping it up this season with 20 total tackles, 13 of them being solo, 10 quarterback hits, 9 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, and 2 pass deflections. PFF thinks this guy is pretty darn good too. A 77.5 overall grade, a 68.1 run defense grade, and a 72.9 pass rush. Dude is having a year so far. And imagine him across from Montez Sweat as the opening rotation. No one's going to be able to stop either of those two. And later in the game, when either Sweat or Crosby's on the field, tackles are just going to be in for nightmares. He leads the league right now as well in tackles for loss with 9 and is 3rd at the moment at total sacks through 6 weeks. I mean, guys, this guy looks unbelievable on the field. We talked about him in the preseason about potentially coming to Chicago. And now with the position that the Raiders are in, it could become a reality that he comes to the Chicago Bears. So just getting quickly into it, let's start going through the trade packages that I would do for Maxx Crosby. The number one, it would be, they're not too much different. I mean, we are giving up a lot for this guy, and we're taking on a lot of cap. That's what helps the Chicago Bears out a ton. And knowing that the Raiders are going into a rebuild, they're going to want picks. Bears got picks, and they're desperate for them as well, by the way. They are also not a very good ball club. The record, yeah, they have 2 wins. Great. Through 6 weeks. They're starting to go in the bad direction of the season. So, number one trade that I would do with the Chicago Bears and the Las Vegas Raiders is obviously I'm receiving Maxx Crosby, and I'm sending the Raiders a 25 first-round pick, a 25 third-round pick, and rookie Austin Booker. Now, remember this. Booker worked with Maxx Crosby all this offseason. Maxx Crosby also talks very highly of Austin Booker, and I don't want to get rid of him, but if that's what it takes to get Maxx Crosby, absolutely. We have plenty of other picks to go out and get other edges as time goes on. But Booker impressed Crosby enough for him to consistently talk about him in interviews and how impressed he is in the kid. Booker is also showing a ton of trending in the right direction right now. He looks solid on the field, great motor. I mean, he's a 5th-round pick. He's ripping it up right now. Montez Sweat even has a lot to say about this kid. He's developing quickly, and also that helps the Raiders get an edge worth absolutely nothing. He's on his rookie contract, a 5th-round rookie contract, by the way, for the next 4 years. Raiders don't have to pay him for a minute. He might want some money later on if he keeps progressing the way he is, but the Raiders don't have to worry about that right now, and they get a 1st and 3rd-round pick in next year's draft. They can start rebuilding right away. They can trade up in different packages, but this helps out the Raiders a ton. And if he goes to Vegas, he's the new guy. Then Maxx Crosby comes to Chicago. He's a premier guy. We would have an unbelievable defensive front, and it would help out the Bears tremendously. And before I get more into my second trade package, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Cornbread, which offers the first USDA organic CBD gummy bears in the United States. Their CBD gummies are the highest quality full spectrum gummies on the market, and here's what sets them apart. USDA certified organic, made from flower only, never the whole plant, third-party lab tested, true seed to sale tracking, vegan, dairy, and gluten-free, and no artificial flavors or preservatives. And they're proudly grown here in the United States. Cornbread's gummies are safe, they're effective for daily use. And Cornbread offers free shipping and backs all products by their 30-day Better Life guaranteed. 100% legal for those 21 plus. And for those watching, I'm offering a 30% discount on your first order. You go to the link in the description now and use code JAYCHI Bears. That's J Shy Bears to get 30% off your first order. This is the good life. Now let's go into my second trade package opportunity for the Chicago Bears and the Raiders that benefits both teams. So now I'm receiving still Maxx Crosby, still sending that first and that third pick, but I'm now sending running back Khalil Herbert. Herbert boomed when he was in Luke Getsy's offense. And guess who's the offensive coordinator with the Raiders, which I feel very bad about. But Luke Getsy. And Khalil Herbert had career years under Luke Getsy, who the Raiders need a lot of running back help. And they can start that now by taking on Herbert. He's still young. He's cheap. They're going to save a ton of money in cap in order to go out and get free agents. And they can re-sign Herbert right away if they want to, depending on how he performs. He gives the Raiders an instant, young, impactful player. We still get Maxx Crosby. They still get a first-round pick and a third-round pick next year to start this rebuild right away. And it's a win-win for all parties. So which trade is better? Because we get Maxx Crosby no matter what for 2.5 years under his contract. And honestly, I would do trade number 2. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section too, because Booker gets to work now with Maxx Crosby, DeMarcus Walker, and Montez Sweat to learn alongside all of them. DeMarcus Walker's also only got 1 year left on his contract after this. So Booker's the next man up, and we don't lose that rotation. We don't lose that gel, and everyone is happy in working with their teammates. Just thinking along in the future. It's not anything against Khalil Herbert, but also Herbert, we're getting rid of. We're probably not going to re-sign him. We are working with DeAndre Swift and Rashawn Johnson. It just makes more sense for the team in order to go out and get rid of him first. But if the Raiders come knocking for Booker, I understand. But if I were in control and in a perfect world, because this is just pure speculation, is that I would trade package number 2. And before we close out today's show, here is Fantasy on the Fly with our good friend Dan Richmond.
Hello and welcome to Fantasy on the Fly. A couple of my must-plays this week include Sam Laporta of the Detroit Lions. Laporta, drafted high in almost every fantasy league, has not lived up to expectations until last week. Last week, Laporta had his first touchdown of the season, and Coach Dan Campbell of the Lions said a week or two ago, hey, Laporta is finally getting healthy. I love Sam Laporta this week against the Minnesota Vikings. He is a must-play who I think will deliver big time. Another guy I'm really liking is Zay Flowers of the Baltimore Ravens. Last 2 weeks, Zay Flowers over 240 yards receiving and a touchdown. Zay Flowers, I think, will continue to shine against a mediocre Tampa Bay pass defense. And this is Fantasy on the Fly.
And as always, I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below on both of these trades. I think they're both fair for the Raiders. You're not going to give up 2 first-rounders for Maxx Crosby, especially how much he's worth. Also, knowing the Raiders are desperate to start getting into rebuilding mode. I mean, a Ryan Pace move, absolutely. But a Ryan Poles move, 1 first is just enough. You're getting a lock-in player. You're getting an all-pro. You're getting a Pro Bowler and a guy who could win Defensive Player of the Year and boost this defense even more. Absolutely fantastic. Would love to see it happen. And I also want to see the Packers lose this weekend. So put an FGB in the comments if you haven't already. Comment double time. Who cares? We're having a good time here at Just Another Year Chicago Bears because it's an exciting time to be a Bears fan. 4-2 as always. And hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're a Bears fan and want Bears news. And put your comments in the comment section below. But with that, thank you as always for tuning in this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Dick Brody. And as always, bear down, baby.